Today, Wednesday, December 4th, 2024, we got 2024 Bowman Draft officially releasing. And in today's video, we are going to be going over the top 10 most valuable according to me. So what's going on, guys? It's Grip and Rip. And before we get into the video today, let's plug the giveaway as usual. So at 11,000 subscribers, we're giving away hobby packs, most likely a Series 1. All you got to do is be subscribed, like this video, turn on the post notifications for all the content you see on the channel, and last but not least, leave a comment in the comment section of this video and countless other videos of your boldest take for next season in 2025. I want to hear the craziest take you have for your favorite team or any other team for next year. I want to see if some of you guys are correct. So let's get into it, man. And honestly, this might not be a long video. Typically, my top 10s typically run about 30 minutes a piece. But in this video, you're going to see in this video today, a lot of these guys don't have stats yet and they haven't played. So they got drafted and they just never played since July. So for one reason or another, there's like 5 or 6 of them in the top 10, which is kind of crazy. And that's why I honestly do believe that the interest level for this year's draft product is kind of low. I didn't really know that before like doing research on these guys, because I did some pretty extensive research on these guys. And it comes out that a lot of these guys in the top 10 just don't have stats yet. Now, some do, but some don't. You'll see that in this video today. So here we go, man. I just wanted to show off this price point at $600 for a jumbo box. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, make cheaper formats for draft, plain and simple. Either way, we're going to number 10. This is going to be a surprise to you guys. We're going number 10 if my computer will actually load. My computer's kind of slow today, which, thank the Lord, this is actually the last time you're going to have this set up. So if you see some glitchiness on the computer, last time you're going to see that, because I have a whole new setup on the way, and it's going to come in 2025. So anyways, number 1, or number 10, I should say, Chase Burns. Now, here is the absolute surprise to this. As you guys see, 2nd overall pick in the draft. Now, if you know how they operate, and they, I mean in tops, the 2nd overall player is always in 2020, like, for example, 2025 Bowman. Until this year. That is right. The 2nd overall pick for the first time in I don't know how long is in the actual Bowman Draft product of that year. Like, for example, Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz, 2nd overall in 2023 behind Skeens, was in this year's Bowman. And the year before that, the 2nd overall was in 2023 Bowman, in 2022, right? So that streak has now ended. Yes, that is right. Chase Burns is actually in Bowman Draft. So you Reds fans might have a little bit of interest in this, because a lot of you guys, Reds fans that is, didn't probably think that you were to have a guy to collect. But here we got number 10, Chase Burns. The only reason I put him this low is because obviously he's a pitcher. Obviously, I don't really view pitchers unless you're like a superstar like Paul Skeens, but not everyone's Paul Skeens, obviously. So, obviously, this guy hasn't even, like, made an appearance yet in rookie affiliate A-ball for the Reds. So, it's really, really wishy-washy. He's from Wake Forest, 2nd overall pick in the draft. Just gotta wait and see what happens with him, man. Don't really know what to expect with him. Again, a lot of these guys just do not have stats yet, and it's just hard to really say what they're all about. I have watched a lot of like film and like tape of these guys that don't have stats, and that's kind of how I structured this list. And obviously stats played a big role into it as well, who have stats in this list. So either way, number 10 is Chase Burns. Kind of a surprise early on in this list. So here we go, number 9, we're going to, my computer's slow today, man. I don't know what's going on here, man. Jeez. There we go. Bryce Rayner. Bryce Rayner for the Detroit Tigers. He was picked number 11 overall this past year. Again, only 19 years old, I assume, was drafted out of high school. No stats yet. No stats at all. So kind of disappointing, man. Kind of disappointing that a lot of these guys don't have stats yet. But that's how these teams roll, man. That is how these teams roll. Typically, when you have guys drafted out of high school, or maybe a guy drafted out of college who is a pitcher, a lot of the times what will happen, since the draft is now in July, obviously the draft used to be in April, but now it's in July. What will happen is they will take it easy on these guys and have them recuperate and rest up their arms or wherever. Because realistically, a lot of these guys who get drafted have not, like, went through a whole baseball season. Like, this guy got drafted out of high school. You know, right? This guy got drafted out of high school. And, like, you know, he's never been in a college season, or he's never really had to play baseball all year round like these pros typically train and play, right? So, you know, I could see why some of these guys don't have stats. So either way, Bryce Rayner is number 9 on this list. And by the way, if you're wondering, because I know someone's going to ask this in the comments, someone's going to ask, Grip and Rip, how do these guys have cards in Bowman Draft if they never played? Well, my friends, the good old airbrush. Yes, the airbrush. I will say, there are some cards I have seen, because they're posted. Some of these players are actually posted on websites so you can see for yourself. Some of these Photoshops they have done in this product, I will say, is pretty bad. I will say that. This guy has a Photoshop, and Chase Burns also has a Photoshop. So here we go at number 8. Another guy with a Photoshop, I can tell you for certain, if my computer will actually cooperate with me here today. If it'll cooperate. I don't know what's going on today. Here we got Connor Griffin. Yes, Connor Griffin of the Pittsburgh Pirates, drafted in 9 overall. Again, drafted out of high school. Again, no stats. No stats at all. Tough to really assess these guys when they don't have stats. Although I have, obviously, since he is a part of my favorite team, I have read up on him extensively since the draft. I think he'll be okay. I don't really know what his ceiling is going to be. Obviously, he's going to be an infielder. We have so many infielders. I don't know what it is with us. Every year, it seems like we draft a gazillion infielders, no outfielders, and like maybe one pitcher in the draft. It's actually kind of crazy. So either way, Connor Griffin is number 8 on this list. Just can't really say too much because there's just nothing to say. Except he was drafted 9th overall in the first round, and he will have an airbrushed card, which I will say his card specifically is really not that good. Like, he's wearing number 93 in his Photoshopped card, and like the 93 are like this, like they're very slim. It's really, really awkward. I was like, what in the world are they doing here? Either way, number 8 on this list is Connor Griffin. Number 7, I think we're finally going to start to get into stats here, I'm pretty sure. All except one. There is one guy later down this list who hasn't had stats for a very good reason. I'll talk about that later down the line. So here we got number 7. Load, computer, come on. Jack Caglione, or Caglione. I still, to this day, have no idea how to pronounce his name, to be honest. But here we go. Finally some stats. Finally some stats to read. So he was drafted 6th overall, and he is, I assume, currently still in their A affiliate. It doesn't even say here. Some of these sites or teams, they will say that they're A affiliate or whatever, but he is, I guess, still in their A affiliate. Either way, 116 total at-bats, 28 total hits, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, a 241 average with an OPS of 690. I will say, I have heard about Jack Caglione or Caglione for quite a while. He was one of those guys going into the draft like about this time last year, going into the draft in July that everyone was talking about. There was actually a point in time where he might have been number 1 overall in this past draft. But obviously that did not happen. He fell to number 6. So either way, I do think when the time comes, he is going to be pretty good. I do think the Royals have a pretty good guy in Caglione or Caglione, however the hell you pronounce his name. So either way, number 7 is Jack Caglione or whatever. I don't know. Some of these guys have pretty tough names, I will say. Next guy on the list. Next guy on the list, if my computer will decide to load. Man, I've never had this problem before, to be honest. I've never had this problem before until right now. Here we go. Seaver King. Yes, Seaver King for the Washington Nationals. Pick overall number 10. You could tell they kind of took it easy with this guy. He really hasn't played too much. Same with Jack. A lot of these guys you will see have less than 100 at-bats or right around 100 at-bats, which is about, I would say, normal because I'll explain why. If they get drafted in like July, they won't immediately start like with their single A affiliate until like August or so, or like late July, right around early August. And what'll happen is like these low A affiliate teams, their season ends, I think, the first week of September. So what'll happen is the average at-bat per month is about 100 at-bats per month. In the majors, at least. I don't really know what it is in the minor leagues, but in the majors, it's about 100 at-bats per month. And you'll see these guys who have stats are hovering slowly kind of around 100 at-bats, and that's why you see that. So either way, let's look at his stats here. 78 total at-bats, 23 hits, no homers, 10 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, average of 295 with an OPS of 752. I can already kind of tell you this guy's going to be a contact hitter. I could definitely see reality down the line when this guy gets called up again. Only 21 years old. I don't really think they have a rush for him, although the Nationals are kind of like on the up and up, obviously with James Wood and Dylan Cruz this year getting called up into the big leagues. I could definitely see a reality where Seaver King is the leadoff hitter for that team in a couple years. I mean, his stats right now as they stand, obviously small sample size, only 78 at-bats, but kind of screams contact hitter in the stolen bases. That's obviously what you want to see out of a leadoff hitter. So I could definitely see a reality where that happens down the line. We'll just have to wait and see, obviously. I don't really think this guy will get called up probably until, I would say, 2026 at the earliest. It depends on how it goes, obviously. Probably 2027 to be safe. But either way, next on the list, we got... Let's load here, man. Good thing this computer is actually not going to be recording these videos no more because did not expect this to happen. Jeez, man. My Wi-Fi is really good too. Either way, Cam Smith. Cam Smith for the Chicago Cubs. Pick 14 overall. These stats are pretty good, man. These stats are really, really good. And as you already see, he's in Double-A. Yes, you see right with the Knoxville Smokies. He is already in Double-A. That is right. Kind of crazy. So he might get the rush to the big leagues. I mean, realistically, I'm not gonna put this out of reality. Realistically, if he continues this pace, the Cubs might call him up next year. I don't really know. There are some other people on this list you will see down the line in this video that are in Double-A. I think there's 2 other guys in Double-A in this video. There's a reality. If he keeps this up early on next year, like maybe in July, June at the earliest, you might see him in the big leagues, which is kind of crazy to think. But either way, his total MLB stats, 115 at-bats, so a little bit over average, 36 hits, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, average 313 with an OPS of 1,005. That's pretty good, man. I mean, again, small sample size, only 115 total at-bats. So they might take it easy on him. They might, I don't know. It's tough to say. If he does well next year with like only about 200, 300 bats under his belt in his minor league career, who's to say they don't call him up? They might. It's very tough to say. Very tough to say what these teams think and do. So either way, Cam Smith is number, I believe this is 5 on the list. Yeah, number 5. Number 4, this is an interesting one. And I'll explain why, if my computer will actually decide to cooperate today. Let it load. Here we go. Braden Montgomery, number 4 on this list. As you see, he has no stats on this list. That is because he was out all basically college postseason. He tore his, I believe, ACL. And it's funny because Braden Montgomery, as you see, was drafted 12th by the Red Sox. I'll tell you this right now. I have watched Montgomery quite a bit. He was actually projected to go top 3 in the draft this year. if he didn't get hurt. So he got hurt in the college playoffs, and unfortunately, his stock bumped a little bit, but that's no fault to his own. Obviously, injuries happen, mistakes happen. It is what it is. But he still got drafted in the first round regardless. So Braden Montgomery's going to be pretty good. I'll tell you, he's a switch-hitting outfielder. He's going to be very good, man. I have watched him quite a bit, and that's why I put him high on this list. I wouldn't have put him really high on the list if he didn't have stats. Obviously, I would have probably put him like 9 or 8 on this list, but I know his potential. I have seen him play. I watched him pretty extensively early on this year before he got hurt, and I can tell you he's going to be pretty good. He is definitely going to be pretty good. The Red Sox got an absolute steal, and he should be ready to go next spring training. Obviously, not going to be in the big leagues anytime soon, I don't think. Probably 2026, probably realistically. I could see him getting rushed up to the big leagues. The Red Sox next year are going to have a bunch of rookies coming up. I mean, a bunch of rookies coming up next year. So obviously, when time comes, we'll talk about that. But either way, Braden Montgomery definitely deserves a spot in the top end of this list. He's pretty good, so don't get it twisted. No stats, he's pretty good. Either way, number 3, now we are going to some interesting players. These guys are really, really good. And these guys you might see aside from number 1. These next 2 guys you actually might see in the big leagues next year most likely. Now let's see how long it takes this to load. Let's see how long it takes this to not look at this. Something's wrong with my watch. I don't know what's wrong today, man. Here we go. Here we go. Something's definitely wrong with my computer. I don't know what today. It's acting kind of funny. But either way, we have Kurtz. Yes, we have Kurtz. This guy actually, a lot of people are saying is actually the most valuable in this product. But again, let's look at his stats. Only 38 at-bats. Only 38 at-bats. He has 14 hits, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, average of 368 with an OPS of 1,283. Very, very good. The only reason I didn't put him on this list of number 1 is because he only has 38 at-bats. Only 38 at-bats, and obviously we have to just take a chill pill. Like, people, like, when it comes to, like, prospects and things like that, like to, like, jump the gun, per se, on these guys. He only has 38 at-bats. Let's see what he has next year before we reassess ourselves. Because realistically, this time next year, when we go back and look at this list, and I have this list laid out for you, this list might be completely different. Even in like 6-7 months from now. Who knows? It's very, very tough to say. Either way, number 2 on this list we got. If my computer will load. Something's up with this computer today, man. I don't know what's going on with this. Either way, Christian Moore, AA. Yes, that is right. You see that right? AA affiliate for the Angels. The Angels, man, I'll tell you one thing about the Angels. The Angels have a real tendency to rush their prospects. I mean, how many years now have we seen them, like, rush their guys? Like, well, Chanel, obviously, he got drafted in 2023 and literally got called up, like, how many months after? It's actually kind of crazy. That's just another example. Like, here's Christian Moore. Although it's working out, I will say. It is working out so far. 101 at-bats, 35 hits, 6 homers, 20 RBIs, an average of 347 and an OPS of 984. So clearly it is working out for them. I don't really necessarily agree with the Angels' philosophy of rushing their guys up. Obviously, they're kind of like in a win-now mode, but again, like, they just lost Ohtani, and Trout is fragile as glass nowadays, so I really don't know what's going on over there. It's pretty interesting. I assume they're in a win-now mode, because obviously they have Mike Trout, but, like, it's very tough to say. They're just a weird team, man. I don't really think they're that properly ran as an organization, so I hope it works out for him. But I don't really necessarily agree with them rushing their prospects, because they have been doing that for a while now. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But we have to wait and see. Either way, number 1 on this list. Before I tell you, obviously, who number 1 is, let me tell you about today's sponsor of the video. So this video today is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the official ticket market of Major League Baseball. We have partnered up to deliver huge savings for you guys who watch my videos. So click the link down below, download the app today, use my promo code GRIPANDRIP at checkout, all one word, to save $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek.com. So here we go, man. Obviously, number 1, if my computer will ever decide to load. That white screen is what we're all seeing, folks. And number one, no doubt, it's Bazzana. Travis Bazzana, although he hasn't had the greatest success yet, I do think long-term, this guy will probably realistically still be number one. Although I will say Braden Montgomery of the Red Sox might give him a run for his money. I was honestly thinking about putting Montgomery at number 2 at this list. But I said there's a couple guys in Double-A on this list and Bazzana. And, of course, Montgomery hasn't played yet. So I said, you know what? Let me take a chill pill on that and just stick with my gut reaction. And my gut reaction is Bazzana is still number 1 on this list. Obviously drafted first overall from Australia, mate. Of course, 22 years old, 101 at-bats, 24 hits, 3 homer, 12 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 238 average, OPS at 765. Obviously not off to the hottest start in the world, but still obviously very, very small sample size. You can't really rush to a conclusion with any of these guys, whether they're good or bad or whatever. So that is it, guys. That is my top 10 list. Now, before we get out of here, we are going to do something that I really typically don't do on these videos. So I'm going to go to the face cam real quick. And as you see right here, I just opened it right now. We got the brand new Topps Holiday Advent Calendar. Now, obviously, you're saying, grip and rip. It's December 4th. And as you see when I open this, it is still intact. Well, that is because I am recording this video the week of Thanksgiving, because I am going to be in Nashville as this video airs. So I have to pre-record. So yes, this video is pre-recorded. Typically, I like to record. So we're going to open, because it wouldn't make any sense to open number 1 on December 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the 4th one right here, and we're going to see what we get. So I will say, man, these packs and boxes are really, really huge, man. I didn't really think they were going to be this big. But either way, we got if I could actually open these, because they actually pack these kind of tight, to be honest in here. Jeez, man. Like, look at this. And there goes, oh, I knocked over my drink. That ain't good. Either way, as you can see here, as I pick up my Propel off the ground, not sponsored, by the way. But either way, if I can get this pack out of the box, we have a holiday pack, which I will tell you all about these holiday packs if I can actually get it through. So here we go. We have a 5-card pack of holiday. Now I'll put this advent calendar away for now. Obviously, I'm not going to have to use this for like another week and a half as of the recording of this video, but here we got a holiday pack. Only 5 cards. Now, your typical holiday pack has 10 in a monster box. So this is a little different, and I'll tell you why it's a little different when we open this up here. You'll see there are some differences between the normal holiday pack and this. So here we go. Let's see what we got here. And of course, the first card is Mike Trout on this. In this pack, we got a plaid, and this is what's different. So we have a Nick Lofton plaid. Now, you may notice that you do not get, and I'm dropping cards here before we open them, you probably haven't seen this before, and that is because these are the Advent Calendar exclusives, these cards right here. So if you see these on eBay popping up, and you're probably thinking, what is this from? Advent Calendars have 1 exclusive plaid card per pack, so that's where this comes from. So either way, Nick Lofton, plaid, metallic, shiny card, rookie. So there is that. And then the next card on this list or pack is this card right here. So these are called the Nice List. So these are also Advent Calendar exclusive cards that you only get 1 per pack in Advent Calendar, and they're die cut as well. I don't know if you could tell or not, but they are actually die cut. As you can see, the edge on the side here is shaped differently. So we have a Garrett Cole 2.63 ERA Nice List. Now, if you're wondering if there's a naughty list, no, there is not. There is no naughty list, unfortunately. It would have been kind of funny if they would have done that with like players and their terrible stats, maybe, but no, it's not like that. So either way, next one on this list is going to be Brent Rooker. Honestly, probably should have got traded at the deadline this past year, but they didn't do it for some reason. Is number 1, actually. He's actually kind of rumored to actually getting traded this year at the winter meeting, so we'll see what happens with that. And the last card in this list is going to be Anthony Rizzo for the Yankees. Obviously, I don't think the Yankees are bringing him back. I think he'll go to a different team in free agency this winter, so we'll see what happens there. But either way, guys, that is it. That is my top 10 list of Bowman Draft. And this is realistically the last time you're probably going to see me in 2024, because as it stands right now of the recording of this video, we have no other really like releases. Like Bowman Platinum is not coming out, at least not officially, at least right now. Archives, high number, nowhere to be seen. So either way, this might be the last time you see me on a video in 2024. So either way, guys, if this is the last time you see me in the flesh rather than with the camera flipped around, have a Merry Christmas, have a New Year. 2024 has been great, man, so far, so let's keep it up. Of course, we have about a month left to go. But either way, have a good one, and let me know your top 10 list in the bottom, or in the description, or the comments, I should say, of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.